So this is a bit different from normal. I don't have a script or anything here, but I was looking at the update stuff just because I was bored, and I noticed this. For the weekend battles, there is no mix-up listed. This really bothers me because mix-up used to be one of my favorite ways to play the game. In fact, if you asked me a year ago, I would have said that mix-up should be the primary game mode of this game. But now they're removing it. And I feel like they kind of brought this on themselves by doing some questionable changes that I think really weaken the mode. I don't know if there were people calling for mix-up to be removed, but frankly, over the past 6 months, I can't really blame anyone who was. So in this quick video, I'm going to argue for 2 reasons why I think that mix-up as it is was inevitably going to die, and maybe I'll reminisce about how things used to be, because I used to love mix-up. Again, I'm probably going to say that a lot because I don't have a script, and I'm just going to ramble on and on and on, and whatever rambling you hear, this is after me repeating and cutting some stuff, so count yourselves lucky. So the first reason I think that mix-up dying was inevitable is because of something that happened ever since they had Brawl Match added. Before Brawl Match, on each of the 3 days of weekend battles, at any given time, you would have a different match available each day. So if you played at the same time every single day, one day you would get target shuffling, one day you would get mix-up, and one day you would get simple battle. For whatever reason, when they added the 4th weekend battle game mode in Brawl Match, this changed. At the same time, every day you would get the same match type. This itself isn't a big problem, but the other side effect is that, and this might be different for the other time slots, but at the time slot I always played at for mix-up in the new schedule, every single day, every single week, it would be Arctic base. Maybe this is kind of just a me problem, but if nothing else, this means that a sizable number of people are only going to be experiencing mix-up on Arctic base. Now, this presents in and of itself 2 sub-problems. Firstly, it makes things repetitive because you are always playing it on Arctic base. And secondly, I don't think Arctic base is a very good map for this game mode. Now, this isn't about Arctic base itself. If you love that map, please don't leave an angry comment. More power to you. Enjoy the game however you like. But I will argue that the first couple minutes of any match on Arctic base tend to be miserable. You know the deal, the meta tactic of everyone run in circles around the rocket until things sort of fall apart, and then eventually when people start spawning back in, it becomes a more normal battle again. This is fine if you like this meta or whatever, but it's really hard to argue that this is the best part of a battle on Arctic base. It's kind of a necessity, not something people enjoy, at least I don't. And because mix-up battles tend to end so quickly, this typically ends up being the entire battle. It's not really exciting, it's very rarely different, and I've had some great fun matches on Arctic base. The first couple minutes have not been the fun parts in any of them. Maybe some people like this, but I doubt I'm the only one who finds this part of Arctic base to be, at best, an annoying necessity, and it really just makes the map largely incompatible with mix-up, in my opinion. The other problem is 700. As anyone familiar with the game knows, mix-up tends to just equate to top cost. Even if it's supposed to make lower costs viable, it's always top cost. Until this summer, it was all 650s basically, and now it's basically all 700s. This might not be a problem, but the way they've handled 700 means that it kind of is a problem. Unless you happen to have and enjoy the new Gundam Musazabi, in which case you're perfectly fine with it. But otherwise, they haven't done a lot to make 700 viable. Case in point, they added 700 in the summer anniversary, and it's just now that we're getting any new 700s, or even for that matter, any new 650s that would get 700 point versions at launch. They have added some 700 point variants of existing suits, but they seem more intent on adding level 4 versions of famous suits like the GBO2 and Hyakushiki, rather than anything that could have a snowball's chance in hell of being the slightest bit relevant in the chaotic realm of 700. Now, this isn't entirely deal-breaking. You can make do with a good 650 if you have one. I've not had any trouble fighting new Gundams and Sazabis in my level 1 Totus Ritter, but it just feels like a bit of a contrast, whereas when last year 650 was the new hot thing, they had spent the last half of the year slowly adding in new suits, mostly 600 with 650 variants, but still keeping the meta evolving by adding stuff like the Tristan, the Dovin Wolf, the Dija SER, all stuff that had come out and helped the 650 meta evolve into something other than just Cubile spam by this time last year. So yeah, I think that, at least for me, the lack of variety in map selection, the poor combination of Arctic Base and Mix-Up, and the fact that 700 just really needs some more suits to make it work, have kind of ruined Mix-Up, and that makes me sad. It used to be my favorite game mode. It was fast and exciting, where when you win it was often by the skin of your teeth, and if you lose, well, it was over so quickly you didn't have to suffer with a bad team or bad matchup or just being hopelessly outmatched by the other team. It was easily some of the most fun I've had in this game. I've probably been playing a few clips of my old mix-up matches while I've been doing this video, and yeah, it was a good time. I really hope that this is just a temporary thing, or like they're going to rotate through the game modes, because I really like Mix-Up and I want to be able to have more great times like I used to. But as the game has been for the past few months, Mix-Up just wasn't able to provide that anymore. Anyway, that's it for this impromptu video. Hopefully this hasn't been too awful. I had no real plans or script or quality control. I just felt I needed to do this one because I want Mix-Up to be good again. That's all for this time. I'll see you in the next video. Maybe it'll be more GBO2, maybe it'll be something else. Who knows? Adios. Oh, and by the way, for some reason, the new suit, the Hazel Custom, it starts at 500, but there's no 550 variant. That is weird. That almost never happens with non-event suits. I don't know what they're doing.